I work from home. I follow casual Friday all the time.
That morning meeting. Can you just skip it? Pretend to work for 4 hours and then go home?
The meetings turn into kind of a playing game, how they make us feel. Then what can we do to fix it? I work from home. I follow casual Friday all the time. I mean, not my regular hoodie.
It's the fancy version of hoodie. You have the bling bling, almost the cleavage. It's like, it's good. It's good. You're ready to leave the office and go out on a date night or, I don't know, shopping spree with the girls. I don't know what people do when they go out.
Having kids does that to you.
Oh yeah, or just being like working from home and not having to deal with a strict schedule or like a strict setting for the meetings, makes you more loose in different areas. And like, why leave the house? Just watch Netflix, read a book. You know what always ruins casual Friday at the office? That morning meeting. Can you just skip it and just, have your coffee and pretend to work for 4 hours and then go home?
I hear more and more often people dreading the stand up or Scrum meeting, usually scheduled in the morning. When we adopted Agile, in the beginnings of adopting Agile, we are excited about this meeting. Most people I worked with or I knew, they're excited about this meeting. In in the in the beginnings of adopting Agile, we are excited about this meeting. Most people I worked with or I knew, they're excited about this meeting. All the people around, all the relevant people for the project you work on, around, be it software or any other industry. Of course, we are going to focus on software. I think it's relevant having all the people involved in that project there every day, getting solutions whenever you are blocked, or even raising it and getting support in being unblocked.
Everyone wants to improve and to be more efficient and to, save the world. Discussing everything out in the open, I have to justify why I'm stuck. Everyone will hear the fact that, things are not going according to my time frame.
Why did you dreaded the fact that you were stuck?
Well, to give you a funny answer, I don't like to get stuck. I don't like to, I never make mistakes. I'm flawless. I don't think there's one human being on this planet who enjoys to discuss about them, It makes you so vulnerable. And if those around you not mock you because we're grown-ups, but if they have this attitude of I'm better than you, or to humiliate you, or to focus too much on my flaws, or to the fact that I'm slow in a certain area, instead of focusing, okay, let's see how can we come up with a solution, with an action plan, with some kind of logical thing to do. It's people's reaction to weakness. Sometimes it's just a jungle.
It looks like a two-way street. Did it ever happen to you to be blocked by something that wasn't your mistake?
Of course. And then it's easier to be vocal about it because I feel my conscience is clear, I know it's not my bad, it's not my mistake, but still I have to deal with the consequences. And sometimes the mere fact that you cannot overcome, I don't know, what a certain blockage that, okay, you didn't cause it, but you should know better. You should know how to fix it. You should go around it, find the loophole, do something. And the fact that you cannot do it, sometimes it makes you feel stupid. I mean, that's a bad thing to say, but deep down inside, this is how you feel. Like that everyone knows more than you, and you're the only one narrow-minded or, cannot see the obvious solution out there.
It's still about why you couldn't overcome the obstacles.
Yeah, in a way, it's your project, you're responsible. I mean, you're accountable. I don't know. I think at a certain point, it's a matter of just owning it. And I myself try not to focus so much on who did it and focus more on the facts and what is causing the delay and how can we move past the blockage. Sometimes people are maybe tired or don't know better, or they're just having a bad day, and it's easy to focus on the, let's say, less constructive attitudes, and then I think the meeting becomes less comfortable for the one who has an issue to debate or to, I don't know, share with the rest.
In my experience and some information I gathered around, this comes from the shift in attitude, the shift in mindset we are living in the past few years. I think working from home had a great deal to change this mindset. And now, when something doesn't work according to plan, you have to justify why exactly it didn't work according to plan. You did all you could, and
Yeah.
you were there for like 10 hours the day before, but still didn't have enough progress. Even though when we were working in the office, you still had the same progress, or in some cases, even less.
Yeah.
Uh, but because you were there,
You are
and
visible.
yeah, they could see the physical you, we wouldn't have to justify as much why we are stuck.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. That's a good point.
I think that's one point. I also think that some people just messed it up. I mean, it's the mindset. We had a podcast about this, about being judgmental.
Mhm.
I think this attitude of being judgmental uh, changed things a lot. Us being self-judgmental and blaming ourselves because we are not fast enough, we are not smart enough, always looking for fault in yourself, trying to improve, trying to be perfect, dreaming, hoping, being perfect all the time. It's not really helping when we always find mistakes in whatever we did, and whatever doesn't work according to an ideal plan, it's always our fault. Like you said, I should be able to overcome, to find a workaround, a way around issues caused by external teams or some other team members. This part is in us, in some of us. I'm sure not everyone can relate to this. I think that it is enhanced when people are behaving like it's your fault you are not able to overcome things that are not under your control, rather than them fixing whatever doesn't work. So they kind of shove it on your plate rather
Yeah.
than dealing with it because it's their responsibility. So let's take an example. um, I wasn't able to merge some code at some stage, and people were waiting for me to merge my PR. I did all I could, all that was under my control. Now, if you want to find more about when I can merge it, maybe ask the reviewers who didn't actually review it. Yeah, how is that? That sounds like a you problem, not necessarily
Yeah.
like a me problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
understand.
but the way the question was asked, it was like it was my responsibility to merge it. It is at some stage, but now I'm waiting for people. So right now, I'm not the one who can have any action on this. In a scrum or a stand-up, you can definitely bring up the point where, okay, I'm waiting for reviewers on my PR. Could you please review it in time so I can merge it and I would unblock other people?
Another thing that makes me a bit uncomfortable in a meeting, that's just me being well, not a rebel, but uncomfortable with rules and the hierarchy in the offices and in corporation. It's when someone is trying to micromanage my projects or me. because I know they're focusing on the projects, but they're talking to me, and I feel like they're going over my plans, my discernment, the way I evaluate, or how I delegate stuff, whatever the case might be. And when I feel that my superior, because that's the case, those who are above you feel the right to micromanage, this thing that I need to justify my decisions and the way I'm doing things. And I was wondering if you, yeah, well, not if you ever felt micromanaged, because I think everyone did or does. But if you tend to micromanage stuff when you have to, tell people what to do, and in your mind you're thinking, okay, I would do it this way and this way and this way, and you see them doing something completely different, can you like breathe and relax and let them do their job?
So yeah, I've been on both sides of micromanagement. I had managers, leads, even clients try to micromanage me at times. I've been micromanaging people every once in a while as well. I still have moments when I have to do it now. That happens when people are going through something and they actually need the support in timelines, because otherwise they put the pressure on themselves that shouldn't be there. I also needed a level of control. I wanted to know details about things that were, I can say
Not
now,
relevant.
irrelevant, exactly. And when people are trying to micromanage me, it frustrates me, because I know my timetables, I know how to approach things, I know how to plan for them for myself. When I try to apply their template on my work, on my thinking, sometimes it annoys me, but I also understand the fact that they might not have enough visibility over what I'm doing. And even if I tell them, for instance, for longer projects, right? It takes me 2 weeks, I'm going to work on this. Even if it is realistic to work on that for 2 weeks, they need to understand if I'm actually going to make it in those 2 weeks. So I cannot disappear completely. I have to give them a little bit more detail about what it means for me, those 2 weeks.
Maybe they just need like, I don't know, short feedbacks that things are going according to the plan and that you are following your own guideline and timeline. And even though you don't need help or their involvement, just to be like a reassurance that, okay, what I thought is going to happen is happening, things are good, having a good overview over what's going on in your plate.
Micromanagement, like any concept in this world, is not completely bad, it's not completely good. It doesn't always help, it doesn't always create problems. It depends on the individual. I don't want to dig deeper into this topic right now. I want to focus on the Scrum stand-up meetings, when you have people who try to micromanage in that meeting, who are using that meeting as a tool to micromanage their team. It's important to provide feedback, to provide information about whether you are blocked or not. Look, I'm working on this. Initially, we thought it's going to take, I don't know, a week, but the complexity, when I dug deeper into it, it's bigger. So it might take me longer. It's important to discuss about those things, but using it as a tool to micromanage people and to learn what they did every hour of the previous day, oh good God, that's how we end up with most people dreading going to these meetings. There are people who like to talk a lot and justify every minute of what they did, right?
To provide detailed feedback.
Exactly.
Very detailed.
Incredibly detailed. I'm looking into this, but I found a problem, and then I sorted it, and then I got upset, but then I got over it. And dude, no.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, it sounds like you saved the world, like an Avengers movie, and they just like open an Excel sheet.
Exactly. Exactly. Or even if they did save the word, you can mention, I saved the word, and we can schedule a follow up for those who are interested in learning how you did save the word. But back to the point, I think we deviate these meetings and we makes it more difficult to be there and attend those meetings than sorting your issues somewhere else in some different way. Is because there are people who try to justify every minute because they are encouraged by other people, be them fellow developers or product owners or scrum master or whatever the methodology and the names. They are encouraged to go explain for a very long time in detail what they did. Hold them accountable, not just for the product and whatever their delivery was, but for their time.
You can be at your desk and pretend to be working or thinking deeply about whatsoever issue you might have, while if you're doing the same thing at home, it may look like you're wasting time or just like scrolling, mindlessly. I think the managers or team leaders sometimes feel this lack of control, and this can accentuate and make the need to time manage bigger, more intense.
But you know why this annoys me? We say we want to be flexible. This working from home is a way companies provide flexibility. Companies are providing flexibility, and they might actually think they're doing that. They have people who are encouraging this type of behavior, accounting for every minute. If you are stuck trying to find solutions and talk to 15 people to find a solution, and whatever you are able to deliver, it was just something very small, an email, then you feel like you did nothing, although you are tired because you spent a lot of time trying to sort out things that were outside of your control. I mean, it's not that you are not working. You are doing whatever you are supposed to do. But
Yeah.
telling people next day that you spent all day and you talked to that one and the other one and the other one, you sent an email, you sent the other email. Good God, everyone is bored, but we still, companies, I mean, by companies, I mean individuals, they are encouraging this type of behavior. Encouraging it definitely has to stop. People will still feel like they didn't achieve enough and they try to over explain. We as team members, wherever we are, and organizations, wherever we are, we can try, each one of us, to enforce the rule of, okay, what did you actually work on without details? If we want to discuss details, let's schedule a different meeting. In most meetings, we are equals. So, and we are self-sufficient. So any of us, we don't have to wait for management or product ownership or whoever in the hierarchy can do something about this. Each and every one of us should stop this type of behavior. If we don't stop it, we encourage it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like anything that we judge in society, but we don't do something, and not doing or not saying something, it's already an action. You're right. It's in a way, it's a vicious circle, because what you said, wasting a day, 2 days maybe, just trying to find out simple information that you need to move along with your plan. It's weird for me to justify to my own conscience, when I get home and or like when I close down the laptop and I'm thinking, what have I done the whole day? I'm tired, like you mentioned. I have used up all my words, or my creativity level is super down because have wasted myself and my energy in something else. And because it's so not natural for us, I think that's why it's even more annoying and irritating, and gives you such a weird that feeling that you want to skip this meeting and this conversation altogether because you don't like it, and having to justify what you did to someone else, it's even more unpleasant.
Every time I have to attend these types of meetings, I'm sure, I mean, I worked on that, I'm still working on that. I didn't finish it. I'm blocked. I'm not blocked. That's it. Details about exactly what I did, I think they are not relevant. As long as I don't listen to other people's details, I assume no one wants to listen to whatever
Yeah.
I struggled with the previous day, or I'm planning to struggle in the current day, or whatever. It's not enough. I mean, leading by example is not enough. In this particular case, we actually need an action. Let's stop this. Otherwise, we are just creating a lot of frustration everywhere. People talk about things that are not relevant, so it's a waste of time, and also they're hiding things that might be relevant.
Mhm.
Because if they feel judged in some way or micromanaged all the time, then they will start blabbing. And yesterday I've been in meetings and I attended some more meetings. Okay, and is that relevant to this product or my life or how? I mean, good for you. Your mom must be very proud of you. That's about it. I mean, no useful information just because they needed to talk.
Or sometimes even to vent what went good or bad.
We definitely could add meetings where people can vent, but that's okay. I mean, we have therapists, but whoever doesn't, we can have meetings for people to vent. But stand up or Scrum, they are not those meetings.
Yeah, there's a time and place for every kind of feedback or feelings, or like you said, even if counseling is necessary, and a bit of support while dealing with circumstances or whatever. Yeah, you're right. Not sure if solution it's maybe a big word, but it's a good approach to make your time at the office better and more efficient, to find out when is the proper time to give like a brief overview of what you're doing, and when it's a proper time to just discuss for 10 hours about how that person used that tone when they were sharing professional information with you. There's a time and place for everything.
Also, you can set up meetings where you can walk us through all the challenges you went through trying to implement some functionality, and wants to attend that type of meeting. That's okay. That's what you schedule it for. Unlike our podcasts where we talk about the problem, a specific format of approaching and doing a parallel to real life, or I mean day-to-day life. Software is real. Unlike our podcast where we have a definite format and we definitely have a solution, in this case, we don't necessarily have just a solution, we have a call to action. Let's each one of us stop offering useless information just to justify our time. And when it's not happening to us and we see it around us, maybe find to stop this behavior around you, because it's contagious like a flu.
Yeah, you're very right. So we should all do that.
If you have any feedback or any ideas of things you might be interested in, you can reach us out to our contact email address, and we will try to incorporate feedback in our following podcasts.